serious then. But when we kept going together, I said, where do you get your book with all your jokes in it? Your joke book. He said, I don't have any joke book. I said, oh, yes, you do. You don't make up all those jokes. He said, no, I don't have any joke book. Can't you imagine, Daddy? And I thought he was a mess. But he was sincere, you know. But I thought he really had a book that told all these things. And he was always funny, and he had a wonderful voice, singing.
Mm-hmm.
And the older sister, who died in Chicago, she went on there, and they married, and he gave her further music lessons. She was really a player. And the sister next to Leon, he was between these two girls, spoiled on that account.
Mm-hmm.
Two sisters. That's all the sisters he had. But they all
You saying Granddaddy Leon was spoiled?
Yeah, kind of spoiled by these two girls.
Uh-huh.
He couldn't do this, he couldn't do that. I was supposed to do that, you know, after we married.
Like what?
Well, everything nearly around the house. Because they always had done everything around the house, you know, his two sisters, this one ahead of him, this one like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they sang in the choir. He did have a good voice. And when I'd play after we married, I'd play on piano. And he could recite poems. He also recited poems, a lot of them. And he could recite them right with the music, like that used to be.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be
When did
an occasion.
How long did you date before you got married?
Oh, let's see, I don't know over there. Can't even think of the year. Well, we married just when the First World War, I guess it was. I had just turned 21. He had turned either 22 or 23.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the first whose names was pulled out to go to the war.
He had that dubious distinction.
Yes, yes.
I'm going to talk to you for about 2 more minutes. I'm going to get in the picture with you just so we have a shot together.
Yes.
Then I'm going to bring your son in.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Can we see each other?
Well...
Wait now, let's get further down there.
No, I got to get over this.
Oh, you got to get further this way. No, wait.
Yeah, I think if
now,
we just...
that's good.
Right, we just keep looking at you, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You were at first. So dear, so dear. I always will think of that. How we would just lean on the buggy. People would come just leaning on the baby. Leon's child. Because they loved the Leon. They fought like little tigers.
Like little tigers.
Like little tigers. But as they grew older, you know, they showed all their love and could fight.
They were very close brothers.
I don't think brothers could ever have been any closer than they were.
So, one day you realized you were in love, huh? You still looking at it?
Well, I guess I did. I don't know. I suppose I did. I don't know. You see, I always had intended to go to school, back to college, because I got all the top honors, but I couldn't use them. The doctor said I had signs of tuberculosis in both lungs. See, I worried on my sister.
Way back then, and here you still are.
I'm still here.
Still here. 70 years
still
later.
Here. Yes. Yes. Still here. Wondering why.
Wondering why? Because we need you.
Maybe so. Anyhow, I'm still on hand. Still on hand. All of them. With better help. Here I am still bumping around here. Knocking around.
So you got married. Granddaddy...
I had my 21st birthday a little before we decided he was going to have to go. He got these notices to be ready in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, two...
Are we looking all right in there, Professor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally, two teachers who had... you see, women couldn't teach then if they married.
Mm-hmm.
If they had children, they couldn't teach. And black women couldn't teach in any white schools, as you would know. But I had signed up for my coming back, and Leon and I decided that if he's going to be gone in 24 hours, we would get married before he had to go.
Mm.
But he didn't have to go, so I got these two requests to come and teach at this school or that school. So I took the one that was going to pay more, $15 more than the one I'd been teaching.
What was the entire salary back
Oh,
then?
that was about, I guess it would have been about $55 a month.
55,
And that was high.
$55 a month.
50 or 55.
And that was a good job.
That was a good salary.
And that was 15 more than the 35 they'd offered you.
Well,
35 40.
Because my cousin was getting 35, and she said, "What? Yeah, I've been teaching all these years, and I don't get but $35 a month, and you going somewhere else?"
Anita, my grandmother was only getting $55 a month as a teacher.
That was a high salary.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
But how long ago was that?
Oh, I don't know how.
You're giving her a raise?
What did he say?
Mark said something smart that we won't
Are you
even
telling me
mention.
that I'm getting a raise?
No, I'm just telling you, don't complain.
No, they wasn't giving any raise. This was this special place where neither of these men wanted to be there without a teacher who could handle it. I did handle it because I'd whipped those boys.
You would?
Yes, I would.
How?
I had his strap made. I weighed 97 pounds. And when I went back to this Kentucky school,
You only weighed 97
I
pounds?
weighed 97 pounds. And I wasn't going to have those boys walking over me. And the schools were good. I mean, brick school and all. And there was a, what they call the cloakroom. And you took the children out there to whip them. They don't whip them now.
They should, though, shouldn't
They should. But the second year, when I went back, I had the strap made in Knoxville. And his boy was in Knoxville College when I was, so I got a lot of mercy out of this principal. Because he had planned that his boy and I were going to get married. See, Leon was the next door neighbor to his boy. And of course, Leon didn't get to go to college. So he was going to have me marry his boy. I knew that. But I wasn't fixing to fall for the professor's son. Because I'd already met Leon.
And you already liked him?
Yeah.
Because of his sense of humor?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Well,
the main
yeah,
reason?
one of them. Yeah, the main one, I guess, because he always kept us entertained.
Did he entertain you the rest of your life?
Well, yeah, as he got older, you know, all that passed over.
It did.
Yeah. But didn't you think Daddy was kind of funny, James?
His joke book was,
Well, I asked him about his joke book, and he said he never had one. It was just in him. But he could have been a good comedian.
well, he was a good comedian.
Yeah, but he wasn't on stage. Or
You mean he didn't make money to be a good
No,
comedian?
he didn't.
He was a good singer and a good comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And his father was Jim Kennedy?
Jim Kennedy. He knew all the waterworks of the town. And when anything happened to the waterworks, they'd send to Jim Kennedy. And I think that's where he took his last bad cold. He died of pneumonia.
His grandfather was who, you know?
Who, Jim Kennedy? No, I don't know.
Do you think we're related to the other Kennedys?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Because whites have asked me that. Right there in New York, the last time I went back, I had to change in Chicago when I was with Irene and them in Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Had to change in Chicago. And then I always would ask them for a cart or something, so I wouldn't have to carry luggage, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd put me in the cart and I could ride. There in Chicago, they didn't have any carts. And a girl a young woman, who looked like she weighed about what I do. But by that time, now when Leon and June were married, I weighed 105 at
Wait a
that
minute.
age.
After 6 kids, you only weighed 105? You only gained 10 pounds after having 6 children.
Well, from 97 up to 105.
8 pounds after 6 children.
Mm-hmm.
How did you stay so small all the time?
I don't know.
You didn't exercise, you didn't jog.
Oh, I exercised taking care of the children. Jog. When you wash and iron and clean and cook and try to hold your children together in school, you know, they're learning.
Mhm.
I used to read to them all the time when they were little. And I think that's why they liked it. But no, I didn't jog anything. But I used to think, and I spent my money when I got to teaching so much for taking these things that make me stout.
Okay, now I'm going to bring you your son in.
Mm-hmm.
Your oldest
And
son.
when I got to 125, oh my, I was.
Well, how much do you weigh now?
I don't weigh
Well,
now. I weigh too much, so I don't want to find out.
You don't weigh yourself now.
No, very seldom. I don't want to find out how much I do weigh.
Yeah. Okay, now we're bringing in the professor. I'm gonna pull back a little bit. Okay, look at the camera. Now adjust this. Okay. Tell us about this young man.
Who, me?
Yeah, and then he can interject whatever he wants to say.
Well, he and
This is the quietest he's ever been on camera. He's been on camera 10 seconds now and he hasn't said anything.
yeah, 'cause he used to always.
I gotta say his age though, because I hope I look as good as he does when I get to be his age. Because sitting right there looking like this, he looks like he's about 30 something. He really does.
Well, that's why Leon is called Leon the Lover, Leon the Jiver, Leon the Creator. He knows how to make you feel good. Not only does he know how to make the women feel good, he knows how to make the men feel
He
good.
knows how to make people
And
feel
I've
good.
seen him over here making Mama come alive because I've learned some things that I didn't know before. And I knew that Daddy was very talented, and I knew that he talked jokes and that he sang. He had a fantastic voice. But I didn't know that Mama married him because he was so funny. And I didn't know it was a matter of, I've heard so much about the joke book. And Mama said, where's your joke book? And he said, I don't have a joke book. He said, you know, I just make these things up. So, well, that was kind of a revelation to me. But I really think, Leon, something else, you made it possible for Mama to make her debut in the movies, and I see her as really shining as I was back there watching, and she just really comes on this camera. And,
Well, you know, when we put her in big time, she just lit up the whole screen when we got that nice big shot of her
Oh, that's right. You did get a big shot, didn't you?
in the movie.
And
You saw it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw it. It was fantastic. And, I've seen these people on the older adults on the Easy Over program, and I've never seen one really as sharp as Mama is on this TV.
maybe that's because I'm always laughing. I always got my mouth stretched in a big smile.
Now, this was your second son,
Yeah.
and there was something a little different about when he was born, right?
Oh, which? This one or the first?
No, Uncle James here.
Well, it was your father's, who's the odd one. We had to smack him into life.
Oh, yeah?
See, we were up in the mountains in the mines, and it was cold and bad up there, and he had seemed always to kind of have a, well, not tubercular, but tuberculosis did run in the family. And when he was born, it was kind of cold up there, and it had just been bad. And when he was born, he didn't utter a sound. Usually a baby cries, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't cry and he didn't make a sound. So the doctor took him up like this by one foot and shook him like this and smacked him. And smacked him again. Then he began, weak little cry. I think he gave him about 3 smacks on his bottom.
Uh-huh. But with Uncle James, wasn't there a big storm that night? Granddaddy Leon was gone. He left his brother with
Oh,
him,
yes.
and a mysterious midwife showed up.
That's right.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
When James was born, Daddy had been working out of town. And he had come in about 2 or 3 days before that, because he's making pretty good.
Look into the camera.
He was making pretty good
A little
where he
closer
was.
now, if you can-
And we had a family rooming there upstairs. They had a little baby girl. And the girl, the wife, was very kind. We were more like sisters than friends. And this night, Daddy had come back home, and it was just pouring down raining. The doctor came, colored doctor, right down the street from us. And he came and he said, oh, everything's going fine. I can't stay right now. I have a speech to make. And he left us.
Mm-hmm.
So it went on. And finally we heard a knock at the door, and all this storm. Leon went to the door. These other two, the couple that lived upstairs, they put that baby to bed, and they were downstairs. And Leon went to the door, front door, and this woman asked, could she come in? We'd never seen her before. And with such a storm, Leon told her, yes, come on in. And we had great fires then. Great, and if you're firing it, you know, logs or whatever. And she was wet and cold, and so Leon pulled her up a chair and told her to have a seat. And she sat there. And of course, I was having all this pain and everything. The doctor didn't come back yet. So finally she said, maybe I could help. And of course, Leon didn't object. And she got up, she kind of got herself dry. And she got up and she came over. And James was born. So
What kind of little boy was he?
What kind of little boy was he? Well, they both, when one got a whipping, when Daddy whipped one, he whipped the other, whether the other had done anything or not.
Just for the heck of it.
Just to keep them together. I used to say...
Don't tell any wrong things now, you're on two.
No, I used to say, Leon, this one didn't do anything. Well, he was smaller than Leon, and Leon was full of mischief. He wasn't any bigger than James hardly, because he was always kind of thin like him. And until he got grown. So I'd say, why do you whip both of them? Well, both of them were into it. Well, anyhow, that went on until they got a little older.
Well, Uncle James, what do you remember about those days?
Well, they doesn't remember.
I remember Knoxville, Tennessee, and the one thing I remember about Knoxville, Tennessee is the hill, and there was a young lady, a young girl, not a young lady, I don't know, maybe she was 6 or 7, and she and Leon used to put me in a barrel and roll me down the hill. Her name was Jamina. Her name was Jamina.
She's the one who did that.
Yes, and I remember that. And I remember one other thing very clearly, that Mama sent me to school. I was 5 years old, and she thought I should be in school, and she sent me to school. And the teacher sent me back home with a note saying, this little boy is not old enough, and he can't talk. And so I guess it was that led me to go on and work and end up being Mr. Speech. I remember that about Knoxville. I don't remember much more.
I'll tell you one thing. It's hard for me to imagine any day that you could not talk. I think you probably came into the world talking and quoting elegant soliloquies.
Well, I was sort of like, I guess the teacher must have said, say, little boy, listen, you can't do that, little boy. Say something, or something. Anyhow, he said he couldn't understand me, and wrote the note and sent me home. I am reminded of something, however, that this little boy, being me, wrote. And I'd like Mama to hear it. This is out of one of a play called Ham's Children. And it's a play that I wrote, which I think is a very good play. And this character in there is talking about love and talking about his son. As he looks at his son, he says, just don't want your dream to be something you may never see. Little man, little man, little man. Want no crying in the night, telling of your pain and fright. Little man, little man, little man. Twisting, turning, ever learning, life is one big fight. In the early dawn of morning, might does not make right. Want your life to find the ray of the beauty of the day, where there's love, little man, little man, little man. It's a song, and underneath the back of it, the song, music is being played, and it's sort of like what Daddy used to do when he used to talk to the music. But then I have the music that is sung by a character in the play. And just over the Christmas period, the play was done. And this was a high point of the play because it was about love. And then the whole thing. And whenever I think and write and talk about love, I think about Mama.
Well, Grandma, you know, you've got some great children. All of them are outstanding. All of them are
yourself.
different.
Plus yourself.
And been really blessed, you know, to have a family like this and to have children like this. We've been really blessed to have you,
Thank you.
and it's really something. And I guess in those struggling days in Franklin, you had no idea that one son would go on to be a doctor in speech and a professor at Brooklyn University and do all the other things that he's done, to be the personality that he is. Your other son Joseph, things that Lillian has done, Mary has done, and Irene. And it's really something. I mean, doesn't it amaze you?
Well, yes, but I'm always saying thank you, Lord. People will say, aren't you proud? I'd say, well, I'm not proud, I hope, but just thank you. Because I remember the struggles, especially during the Depression.
Mm-hmm.
Those were some days.
Mama always had enough in the house for everybody, despite the fact that the children didn't think there was enough. She always knew that anybody else who came could sit at the table. And there was a young boy, Clayton Whitman, from a family of 12, a white good boy. And he used to always be there around mealtime. And I think he ate his way all the way through high school. He would come in and around breakfast time, he was my friend, and lunchtime and dinner time, and the mama would say, Clayton, don't you want to have something to eat? And he'd say, don't care if I do. And he never said no.
Never.
And he was
Boy didn't even know the word no.
He didn't know what no meant. And one thing that Mama was able to put in the idea, the minds of the children, was the idea of love for everybody. And despite the fact that there wasn't much money.
Hey, Sheila?
And we used to have to go and pick up coal on the railroad. And the one thing that was most important about this business of loving your fellow man was this idea that everybody was equal under the eyes of God. That God had created the human being in his own image, and that we were all members of his family. And there's another philosophy, another theme that permeates Ham's children. It too is a song, and Mama was responsible for this. It's called Every Man is My Brother. And it goes like this: every man is my brother, though he may not wish to be next of kin, twice removed or distant, he is very much like me. Every man is my brother, and I hope someday we'll see we can learn to love each other, and the world will then be free. Brother, 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 wherever you may be, brother, 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 listen to my plea. Every man is my brother, bowed with hope and misery. When we learn to love each other, then brother, brother, brothers, we will surely be. Now, in the play, of course...
You wrote that?
Yes, I wrote that.
Very nice.
Thank you. That's music. That's one of the... That is a very, very fine song. The lyrics say what I want the lyrics to say, but the music is out of sight, and I'm going to work on seeing it to be recorded.
We're going to bring in another one of your beautiful productions. Just move those pillows there. I'm going to let you introduce this next person, because who else should?
That's right. He's the papa.
So why don't you introduce him?
Oh.
All right, we're now going to be talking with Sheila Janine Kennedy, and this is the beautiful Sheila here. If she can get in the camera here.
We're going to get her in.
We're going to get her in.
No, I got room for everybody. This is going to be a family portrait by the time I finish.
And I'm going to say this, and then I want Sheila to talk. Sheila took after her mother, Sheila Janine Kennedy. I had written something about Janine, and then after got married, It was Janine of Paris, and Sheila became the Sheila Janine Kennedy. And here she is to tell us something about Sheila.
Well, what do you want to know? I'm
Good.
16 years old.
You're 16 already?
And my birthday is May 30th. And I'm a Gemini.
Uh-huh.
And I was born in Brooklyn.
Where have you lived, Sheila?
And
Some of the places you've lived.
we lived in Africa for 3 years. And then we lived in Australia for a year and a half. And then we came back to New York.
So you traveled. What did you see when you were there?
We saw kangaroos and the koala bears and everything.
And the Aborigines.
Aborigines.
You want to tell a little about that?
Well, what? Well, let
I don't
me
want you to be shy on camera.
let me ask you
Discovered on this.
a question now, Sheila. You saw. Excuse me. We're on the camera right now, and we are talking to Sheila Janine Kennedy here. And I was going to ask you a question about Tahiti, the difference between Tahiti and Honolulu. Which did you like better?
Tahiti.
What?
You mean Fiji? I like
Well,
Fiji.
Fiji. You like Fiji better than Tahiti.
Mhm.
Well, what were the people like?
People were nice. It was nice and warm there.
I just thought of something. I don't know. This is sort of putting Sheila on the spot. But Sheila has learned a number of things that her mother does as an actress and things that I have written. And do you remember any of that? That I go around the house and I hear something. I thought it was Janie, but then I find out it's Sheila. Do you remember any of that?
I remember Madam and her telephone.
Do that.
Okay. Their telephone.
Go ahead.
Look in the camera.
I worked for a woman. No, that's the wrong one. Which one should I do first?
Either one you want.
Do either one.
Do the telephone woman, that's funny.
Telephone? Okay. What's that, Central? You said okay long distance. Okay to win. My goodness, Central. That was then. I'm tired and disgusted with that Negro now. I don't pay no reverse charges no how. You say I will pay it, else you take out my phone. You better let my phone alone. I didn't ask him to telephone me. Roscoe knows darn well long distance ain't free. Well, if I ever catch him,